Unshackled.
Uncouth.
What you're about to hear is for mature audiences only.
It's Miguel Fuller.
Holly O'Connor.
And Scotty the Body.
It's the Miguel and Holly Uncensored podcast.
Only on Hot 101.5.
Hey! We are back. I'm alive from Key West.
Is your liver okay?
No.
Oh.
You should do a good old cleanse.
No, it's we gotta talk about that at some point. Maybe we'll talk about it after our guest that we have on.
Mhm.
But let's just say that, like, literally, so today's Monday, November 29th. I got back into town last Tuesday before Thanksgiving. Tuesday I was fine. Tuesday I made dinner, and then we started watching a movie, and then all of a sudden Tuesday night I started going downhill.
Ooh.
And I was like,
Downhill.
and then by Wednesday I almost went to the urgent care
Yeah?
What happened?
because I had a fever, I had chills, I thought I was sick. My body was like, fuck you.
Yeah, basically.
I mean,
Yeah, you put it through the ringer.
I haven't had that much alcohol over that many days, like, in a long time. Like,
How do you wake up and feel okay? Maybe you didn't, but like, even if one day of drinking, it doesn't even take a lot, but I wake up and I just, the feeling makes me want to cut off a finger.
we'll see. Remember, this was a bachelor party. So as soon as I would wake up, one of my friends would come and bring me a little mimosa in the bed.
Oh.
And so
Ugh.
you're still kind of drunk because it's Key West. And so you wake up and you're kind of drunk. So you don't really feel truly.
There is something about the hair of the dog
Yeah.
because it elevates your body back up.
Absolutely.
I mean,
And
that's
so
not good. That's
No.
not good. I'm not saying one
No,
should do that.
never do it.
That's how you were able to do.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway.
And so I think once the alcohol started to wear off Tuesday
Oh.
night when we got back is when my body was like, well, we're broken.
Yes.
And I almost missed Thanksgiving. I almost said, I don't know if I can go to Thanksgiving because it was that bad from the weekend.
What happened on the actual day of Thanksgiving? Were you able to like make a comeback? Did you cook? Did
so
you do anything?
I cooked. I woke up Wednesday because Wednesday night I was going to cook all my stuff.
yeah.
But I was like, I had to go to bed at 8:00 Wednesday night because I was just so not well. Like I had a fever of like 1015.
Hey.
Yeah. I was like, this is funny.
Oh gosh.
And so I woke up Thursday and I was able to rally to cook. And then once, like, I probably had about half a gallon or a gallon of water.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope you had plenty of like, either like a liquid IV, a hydrate.
Pedialyte,
I
too.
did, yeah. So,
Electrolytes to get
girl,
back
I
in your
was
system.
taking everything. And so then once we got to our friend's house, I took another nap. I slept a lot. By the
Ooh.
time I woke back up around like 11, I was good to go. And then
Okay.
over the course of Thanksgiving, the day, by the time we sat down to eat, I was good. It was still kind of touch and go. But then once I finally didn't have diarrhea anymore,
He
uh,
whispers it.
I don't know, it was really gross.
Oh yeah, your body's like, get out of me.
Yeah, it was really rough. So
Did you get sick at all during your bachelor party?
No, bitch, I'm a pro, honey. Not once.
That's insane.
Not once did I throw up, did I get sick or do anything.
Wow.
But yeah, we'll talk about the dick count or the dong count.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How
gotta
many
talk-
dongs you
We
saw?
gotta talk about the dong count. And by the way, damn it, I forgot her name. She came up to the food drive and brought me a bachelor party gift.
Yes.
Oh yes.
And it was so sweet. And then the card inside it was like, have so much fun on your bachelor party. We're so excited for you. P.S. Can't wait to hear about the dong count. I think it's going to be this many. I was like, I love our.
Inquiring minds want to know.
Hey, we all want to know.
I love
how
our
many
platypus
dongs.
posse.
Same.
So we'll get to all of our Thanksgivings and the bachelor party. But first, we need to talk to a very special guest that has not had her voice, I don't think. Have we ever had her on anything?
Never.
Nope.
First time.
Wow. I would like to introduce to you in the platypus posse, Scotty the Body's girlfriend, Monica.
Hey.
Hello.
Welcome.
Hello, everyone. Good morning.
I love it. She was like, I'm so nervous.
She's
What are
been
you
freaking
gonna
out about
ask?"
this
Well,
for
it's
since the
very
moment we said
nerve-wracking.
we're gonna do this on the podcast.
Mhm.
She's
It
very anxious about it. I think we had one night where Well, we went to like a party and she got pretty turned. And then on the ride back, because I was sober, so I was driving back. And like for the whole entire ride, she's like, what are they going to ask me? I'm nervous. I'm freaking out. I'm like, babe, it's okay. We're just going to chat with you. We get to know
Well,
you.
you never know
I
what
know.
Miguel is going to say.
Well, Miguel says the most ridiculous thing. So again, if you don't want to answer, just say, nope.
Just be like, Miguel, and then we'll just drop it.
So first off question.
Oh,
I'm
shut
kidding.
up.
So what are you nervous about? Are you, because I mean, obviously outside of on air, we're all friends. We've all hung out.
Yeah.
You obviously, when Scott lived with me, we're over at the house a lot. I've
What?
Yeah, do not start this off on the wrong
I've
foot.
heard a lot of things.
Yeah.
I feel like I've been a part of some intimate moments of y'all's relationship.
Part of our life.
So what makes you nervous? Because we're friends in that capacity.
I think maybe that's it, is that you just know too much. So I don't know what kind of questions you're going to ask. Or maybe it's just not knowing like the gist of what questions. I'm a planner, so I just need to have
Love
a
it.
skeleton outline of things.
Girl, same.
Love it. I know.
Going in blind is like, well, what do you even want me to prepare for? Like, do I need my resume at the ready?
It
Like,
would be nice to have, yes.
no. What? So
I
anyway,
love it.
yeah, I totally get it.
Last year's taxes. It's fine.
Yeah, exactly.
So Monica, who are you? Like if you're meeting a new friend at a party and you're all going around and you're like, hey, my name is Miguel. I'm from Atlanta. Worked in Panama City, work on the radio here in Tampa. Been doing it for 6 years. Holly and I have been working together for 2015. That's sort of like my general life story without going into like all the personal details. Who is Monica?
It was like my little life elevator speech.
Yeah.
Well, I'm actually from the DC area. So I was born in DC and raised in Maryland, and I came down to Tampa for college back in 2012. So I went to USF, go Bulls. And then I didn't know anybody here except I had an aunt and uncle that lived in South Tampa. So those were the only two people I knew. And I didn't know anyone else and just went in blind. And then I loved it so much. So I stayed and never went back home. So I've been here for almost a decade now. I love it. I hate the cold. So that's kind of the main reason.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just good vibes down here. So I've met a lot of good friends. I got really lucky my freshman year of college, and like my best friend core group to this day were my random roommates back at USF. So that's been a blessing because I know people aren't as lucky sometimes. And then for the past 4 years, I've been doing some recruiting and educational staffing. So working with school districts and hiring like therapists and nurses and all that good stuff in special education. And I'm actually starting a new job on Wednesday.
Boom.
Working for law firms. So I'm kind of changing it up a bit. So really excited for that.
You are a career woman.
I
love
know.
it.
right.
So wait, you're going to be working for a law firm, you said?
Yeah. So for a bunch of law firms, I'll just be staffing like pretty much any you can imagine that can work in a law firm. I'll be hiring them.
Oh, that's awesome. And
Yeah.
and you're excited about this as like a good change?
Yeah. And it's fully remote. So I'll get to chill in my sweatpants all day.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Man, that's one of the good things the pandemic brought about is like, I feel like there's options now. you
Right.
know?
Yes.
So good for you. Good on you with that.
Now let's get to the juicy part here, Monica.
All right.
A lot of
let's do it.
juice.
How did you and Scott meet?
I love this story. I don't even know if I know the for sure, like real part of it, but the gist, I love it.
There's so many different like legs of the story too. It's funny because I was a listener. So I've actually been a listener since probably like 2017. And so I'd actually met Scott a few times at like one of Miguel's big gay brunches, and then I think a random Franklin Manor night. But at those kind of events, it's like your head is on a swivel because you're meeting so many different people. So it's like, hey, here's a shot, bye.
And he was in a
then-
relationship at that time.
I was.
Exactly. And so there's that. And I always thought he was cute, but that's neither here nor there. And then last summer, I ended up buying a house over here on the St. Pete side. And those of us that have bought houses know that when all is said and done and signed, you're stone cold broke. So I had a big empty house and no furniture because I had about $200 to my name. And then right around that time was when on the show, you guys were doing the bit of Scotty sings his sales. So It's funny because I looked at the timestamps of these messages recently, and it's like 2 a.m. on a Sunday morning
Oh.
that I sent the first message because I was clearly drinking the night before.
Oh.
And I don't know what it is about when you're impulsive and think like you just need something and you need to buy something when you're drunk. So I'm scrolling on my Instagram at 2 a.m. after being drunk, and I see the post about the lounge chair. And I was like, in retrospect, did I really need it? No. But in that moment, it was everything. And I was like, I need this lounge chair because I have no furniture in my house and it's empty and I'm sitting on my carpet. So I just messaged him and was like, hey, still available? It's been a couple days. I don't know. You seem to be popular. And he messaged me back during the daytime and was like, yeah, it is. Scott.
Now, hold on.
Picture Scott being like, ah!
He's like monkey emojis. He's
Yes.
like, yeah.
Like the star eye emojis, because that's just what he looks like in real life.
Yeah.
Yes.
Monica, so is there any part of you that when you sent that message, obviously after drinking some and it was 2 o'clock in the morning, you're like, oh, I need a couch. But then were you also kind of like, well, hello,
I want somebody on that couch.
Oh,
Hey.
No.
Oh,
No.
whatever,
No
liar.
part of that. It was literally just, I need furniture. This guy probably doesn't know how much he should sell it for, and he didn't because he sold it to me for $70, which was way cheaper than he should
Hey,
have.
joke's on you. I get to sit on that couch now.
Ah.
Watch it.
Wait, was that
So yeah,
my couch?
Yes, it
that
was.
you- oh, so actually he made a lot because I got it for free. So Scott made a profit off of it.
all right.
Oh,
yeah.
that's
So I
great.
took my friend who had a truck over to Chateau Oprah. We got the couch. It was still like in pandemic time, so it was an awkward like, okay, thanks from a distance, bye. And then I Venmoed Scott, and then he finally followed me back on Instagram.
And so Scott was like, hey.
No. I followed her back as just a friend, because again, I was still in a relationship.
Oh,
and that
that's
was it.
right.
We didn't talk. Yeah,
No,
that was the only
yeah.
interaction we had
I'm a loyal
until several months later when obviously since I'm a listener, I heard on the radio that he was single.
Mhm.
And I went over to my best friend at work and I was like, Aaron, Scotty the body's single. Do you think it'd be a funny story if I go for it?
Ah!
I thought it'd be funny. Because I was like, I have funny stories in my friend group. Like, I just do crazy stuff. And she's like, no, that's really fresh. Just calm down, Monica. And I said,
She was like, too soon.
okay,
It was. I'm a
okay, fine,
gentle
you're
flower.
right. Like,
Well, hold on real quick. Before we get to that, I'm curious about this first interaction with the couch.
Oh,
Like, because I can't imagine, like, there are some radio personalities that I know, that I look up to, that I listen to for a long time. And I would be so geeked out if I like bought something and went to their house. Like, what was that experience like when you went to my old townhouse, Chateau Oprah?
well, one, we got lost because that neighbor's confusing. So
Ubers used
it
to
was
get
cool.
lost.
I
all
mean,
the time.
I was a listener, so I was a big fan of the show, and I was like, "Oh, we're going to Chateau Oprah. I wonder if Miguel's going to be there." And then it was just Scott. And I was like, okay, whatever.
wow.
Ah!
Lame.
The big
And
prize
then
here.
it was
What
really
now?
cool. It was it was really cool because I actually was mentioned on the radio the following Monday, and I was like driving to work, like, "That's me! I bought the couch! Yeah, woo!"
That's when
And
it's
now
still
it's like-
fun. That's when it's still
Yeah,
like when you
now it's annoying.
aren't that close, but you're like you've put a toe into like the slight inner circle and you can hear yourself get talked about. Like even as a radio person, if I'm talked about on other radio stations, I'm like, oh, they're talking about me until
yeah.
like shit gets real.
Right.
And then you're like, and
Yeah.
then you don't also have a voice. And then people start talking about other stuff and you're like, I'm not okay with this.
Yeah.
If they would just
Yeah.
shut the fuck up, that'd be great. So it starts out so fun, and then sometimes it can take such a turn.
Yes, it always does.
Anyway, so that's a fun little. I like that. I love the couch story.
That's great. So now your coworker said, "Girl, calm down." So how
Yeah,
long?
she said, "Sit down."
So how long did you
Um,
wait before you sort of slid up in his DMs, or did he slide in your DMs?
Whoa.
Well, we were just like, okay, let's give it a week. And if you still think it'll be a funny story, because they just announced it on the radio, like, chill out. They're like, okay, we'll wait a week. And then not 3 days later, Scotty the Body starts replying to my Instagram stories. And I said, that's suspicious.
I'm just being
Sorry.
friendly.
Wait,
I'm sorry.
wait! I did not know
AF.
this.
This bitch gonna be responding to
What? I did not know this.
well.
You old slide dog.
Well, stories pop up because Instagram wants you to see. And I was like, oh, that's fun. I'll do a little laughing face to that, little whatever to that.
If I were her, if I was in this, if it were me, I would have been like, bitch, give me a smiley face. It's on.
Yeah.
Now, what's the right way to text back to this? Like, you got to be.
I was like, let me play along, just do surface level, because obviously, Scott went through a lot in 2020, so I'm like, I'm not trying to get tangled up in an emotional web here.
Right.
But that kind of went back and forth for a couple days. I went back to my friend and I was like, all right, so I was joking at first, but I think he might be interested, which is weird. But whatever. And she's like, no, you're being aggressive. Don't be aggressive. Like, just, it's nothing.
Why?
She's just being nice. And I was like, okay,
don't be aggressive.
Shoot your shot,
A
girl.
lot of people are way more
And-
aggressive.
Yeah, well, no. Anyway, so I was like, okay, you're right, whatever. That same night, I get a notification on the Instagram that Scott liked one of my pictures from Halloween.
Oh.
And I was like,
Wow.
oh, it's on.
Wait, when was the timeline? Like, was it long ago or was it recent?
This was like a month later.
This is like
after
in
I posted the
December.
picture.
Oh, so
like
that
early
means-
December.
he had been going back through your Instagram
Mhm.
feed.
Gotta see who this girl is. You
Now,
know.
Scott,
Mhm.
was that an intentional like on Monica's Instagram
Yeah,
of the
definitely.
So you knew what you were doing when you
Yeah.
were like double tap.
Yeah, absolutely. It was probably after a couple glasses of wine, and I was like, you know what? Bleep it, man. I'm going.
And you said, wait, I'm sorry, I missed it. Texting. You said it was November?
This is probably early
Like-
December.
Yeah,
oh,
early
December. You
Yes.
bitch, you went back to October and you were like, double tap.
Yeah, I gotta check out her profile. Well, that's why I started replying, is because I started looking at these pictures. I was like, wow, is she cute? Oh, okay.
Wow.
Well,
What's up, Gert?
Yeah. Yeah. And you
I
knew
like that
who
face.
and you knew who she was already because of the couch.
Yeah, kind of. That was kind of like, hey, here's the couch. Bye.
No, it wasn't like, I'm sorry. We're not going to pretend.
No, it really was,
like, the
though.
couch was nothing, though.
The
Like,
couch really was, though.
I
Like,
know, but
Yeah, I
you
feel like
did,
it really was.
but you did meet each other.
valid. Okay, so I do know what she looks like in person. Yes.
Yeah.
Because, yeah. So
Right,
I knew
I mean,
it wasn't
listen.
just a profile picture.
Like,
Yeah.
nobody's saying nobody's accusing anybody of moving too fast or
No.
going this way or like looking sideways while someone's in a relationship. But like, as a human, I have to imagine as a fellow human, if somebody's buying a couch from me, I'm in a relationship. And if they're hot AF, I'm still looking at them.
I did also think she was in a relationship, though, when she picked up the couch, because she was with this dude. And I was like, all right, this dude's got a truck. Dope. Hey, enjoy the couch, y'all.
Okay.
I
But
got a lot of friends.
you had synced. So anyway, so then there's that like back and forth. Now the like
This is
of the
where it gets a
Halloween.
little
Okay.
juicy.
Got it.
Ooh, now what happens after the Halloween photo is
Oh.
liked?
So I'm like, okay, this is obvious. Men are pretty easy to read, surprisingly. But I was like, all right, let me just dabble in there. Let's go see some Christmas lights. So it took like, I don't know, 2 days of messaging back and forth with Scott about Christmas lights. Like, I really wanted to see them. Do you know any places? And he's like, I don't know. My roommate Dylan might. I'll let you know. And I was like, cool. Like, I would love to go see some. Maybe sometime with someone.
Hello.
Tomorrow.
It was not that clear. It was like, you know any good places? I was like, not really.
No.
Hey, let me know if you find any too.
Scott, I forgot.
I
There is
told
this
y'all,
area
I am
where
not
you're
good.
So obtuse.
Meanwhile, like basically Monica has like put her boobs on the table and she's like, hey,
She's
and you're like,
anyone want to see any of these lights? And you're like,
y'all.
I don't know.
and you're like, wow,
people to
I
like
really
me.
love your haircut. It looks really beautiful right now. She's like, hello.
This was an issue with Scott because he would always be like, I don't know. And we'd always have to be like, yes, the people are flirting with you.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So eventually I had to be like, yeah, so we should go. And he was like, oh,
That's when I
Okay.
said,
Oh, that's when.
yeah.
So
You
literally
got to make it plain for me. I am
Monica-
not that good.
had to take the reins and say, bitch, we're going to see fucking lights.
Okay, she took the reins there, but it's only getting
yeah.
better.
Okay.
I'm about
Okay.
to- I'm
And
about to
so then
become
we made
Santa
it.
Claus.
We made a date night,
Okay.
and we're gonna go to Tampa, Curtis Dixon. It's really cute down there. They got a ice skating rink and stuff.
Cool.
Well, the night before, it was your guys' show night out, and then I was going to an ugly sweater party that my best friend throws every year. So I was there. We were just texting back and forth.
Wait.
Random stuff, nothing
During
crazy.
our night out, like our show night out,
Remember when we went out? We
Yeah.
went out to like the
and
mill or something.
you would not get off your fucking phone.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Now all
This
the
is
pictures are
awkward.
coming together.
I think I was a big night, by the way.
It was
for,
a big
for me
night.
personally too. That was a big
Mhm.
night. People, okay,
Wow.
And Scott was on his phone.
I remember.
I was there. I was drinking, having a good time.
You
And it-
were.
On your
While
phone.
Vodka Scott wanted to party. So he texted me randomly like a few hours later. I was like, are you still at a party? And I was like, yeah, you should come. And he said, okay. So he showed up to my best friend's house with a bunch of people who he didn't know, and they were all my best friends. So he just met all of them in one night. Granted, this was like our first night actually, like, not meeting, but like meeting up in a different context
Right.
than before.
And you already
It was
had
all
the
at
date
once.
planned before the lovely lights the next day?
Right. And so for me, who was just doing this as a funny story, I was like, okay, cool. We just like moved the timeline up a night earlier. But the fun part was it was a really fun party. He had a great time, and they brought out the karaoke machine. And when someone brings out karaoke, something comes alive inside me, and I have to take over.
As it
And
does.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sitting there, singing every Ariana Grande song in the book for about 45 minutes.
Oh my
Scott
God.
is doing my background vocals, and people just got so annoyed they left.
We were rocking.
They're
Oh.
like, Scott and Monica won't give up the microphone. We're leaving.
Oh no. So y'all are
Wow.
already establishing yourselves as a goofy duo.
First
Now,
night.
okay. So what happened after that?
Yeah, what happened that night?
Okay, so you know what happened that night, but to skip a bit ahead from that.
Wait,
the
wait,
next
wait, hold
morning,
on.
I'm like,
We're not gonna get into the details. But did y'all come back to Chateau Oprah, or did y'all go to your house, Monica?
We went to Chateau Oprah.
Yeah, we did.
Mhm.
That was a magical
So,
night.
I think I remember
all
that.
right.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right. The next morning, he's walking me back to my car, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, all right, because I like the single life. I live the single life. I'm like, all right, well, I'll see you when I see you. And he's like, wait, don't we have our date tonight?
We just
And
had
I
a
was
great
like,
night.
I love Monica. She
oh.
playing the damn game.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Keep going.
Yes.
I was like, oh, man, I fucked up.
Yeah, because now you got to see a bitch.
I'm a
yeah.
fun guy to
Yeah.
have.
But I love it because, I mean, obviously you liked him. And so you don't want to be like, especially you have this unexpected hangout and then y'all have a good night together.
And there's already a date planned.
Right. But then you don't want to be like, because I understand where Monica was, where it's like, you don't want to be like, well, I'll see you in a few hours. Hey.
Yeah, because you don't know. Yeah.
Right.
But
so you-
obviously, it was so good that night.
okay.
Gotta
bitch.
see this guy again.
Okay.
Wow. It was so
So
good.
you did, though, right? Did you do the lights date?
Yes. So eventually during the day, I was like, all right, let me just do it. And so we went and we saw Christmas lights, and they were, lackluster, but we ended up getting dinner in downtown at some Greek place. And we just ended up talking for like 2.5 hours about everything and anything, life goals, whatever, how we got to where we are. And I remember telling him at the end of the night, I was like, oh, crap, you're a good person.
That's right.
I don't know what to do now.
Yeah. That'll confuddle everything because he is and you are.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it would have been easy if he was like just a dick. And you could have just been like,
Right.
well, that's the end of
You
that
never-
story. But he's not.
Yeah. So the funny part of the story is we are like a year later, and it's not really funny anymore.
How's that
Wow.
story going for you? To be continued.
I
Now,
was bamboozled.
okay, so how did things progress from there? I mean, was this just like a few more dates or just
Well, I'm sorry, but I've got to insert, like, it wasn't just like a regular start to finish because, and this is our fault, Miguel.
Mhm.
Yes.
Mhm.
Miguel and me were like, you need to be single. Now,
And
again,
so was I. I pushed it on him. I said, listen, I told him that first night because he's like, I don't know how to be single. And I said, listen, I'm the pro at being single. I will train you. I will show you how to do it. I even got him this book on how to be single, like a workbook.
I got 2
How to,
chapters
like,
in.
do it.
so like the
and then
person that ends up in the relationship with him is like, you should be single.
Yes.
Here's how.
Wow.
Yes.
Well, it
Yeah.
was, and we all know, like, everything was so fresh because, like, everything had literally fallen apart in Scott's life that October.
Mhm.
And so
Yeah.
then here he is in December starting something. Let me know he's saying what it was, but
Right.
something with you, and you obviously you guys have chemistry, but then you've got like logic, reason, all the 3 of us being like, you probably need to be single for a little bit because it's kind of the right thing to do.
And on top of that, being a listener too, it's like you hear you guys talk about it every morning, and it, I wasn't under any impression that like Scott wasn't dating other people either. So for me, I was like, all right, this is easy because it's no strings attached. We can't get like too close. you know, it's still fun. Like we like hang out with each other, but like it clearly isn't going to go any further than this because of everything that's happened in the past year with him. And then the fact that he's, you know, recently single and needs to learn how to do it.
Now, was it awkward because if I remember correctly, when Scott was in the single phase that, you know, especially for him with things being so fragile, we tried to make the stories very neutral about issues that would come up with people that he was talking to.
Right.
So, you know, yes, you can say out loud, it's no strings attached, but it sounds like from the beginning, there was obviously a fire there. Was it weird for you to hear him tell a story knowing that, wait a minute, we didn't experience that together, so there must be someone else? How was that for you?
For me, I wouldn't say weird. It would be weird when my friends would text me and be like, was that story about you? And I had to be like, no.
Oh.
No, just doing what everyone said to do.
His radio's tough.
Yeah.
No one, I mean, we've said it multiple times.
Right.
It's very difficult to be the partner of a radio person.
Yes, or
In
someone
any
that
ca-
is
in any
any capacity.
capacity.
Yes, absolutely. Ah, that sucks. So how did you get through that?
I mean, coming to me, I've always been the type that I enjoyed being single and pushed for it. Like I was preachy about it. I'm like, listen, there's some people on this earth that just, they're meant to be by themselves. And that doesn't mean that they're lonely. They're just better off. So I never like felt any type of way about it. Cause I was like, well, I mean, we're both single. You doing whatever. That's whatever, you know?
That's whatever.
Wow. So what was the turning point?
So we'd hang out like maybe every few weeks, and then gradually it turned to like every other week, and then once a week. And I know with Scott's schedule, like he's around the station and the gym and his side hustle, so he really doesn't have a lot of time. And I was like, we keep hanging out a lot more than you should as somebody who is single and trying to be single. And so it got to a point probably around like March where I actually I started going to his trivia nights with some friends because it's right close to where I work. So I'd see him every Thursday too. And I was like, yeah, we need to talk about this. So I pulled him out in the parking lot after one night. Was like, listen here, I don't know what's going on, but like one of us is going to get hurt. So we need to like just either cut it off now or like accept that one of us is going to get hurt. But I don't know because like I really like you. And I wasn't expecting to. And I know you're not in a place either to kind of be with anybody. I don't even know if that's what I want, but these are my feelings. Here you go. And just laid it out and waited for him to respond.
And Scott, what did you say?
I pretty much said, you know, like, I think it's worth taking the risk on getting hurt over, you know, like, and I've said it on the show before. It's like when everything happened in my life, I realized in that moment, like nothing ever could equate to that feeling of just as low as you could possibly feel. And so I was like, I like you. Like, I am willing to take the risk on if this is going to hurt, like it's going to be worth it because, and with her, I was like, every time we hang out, it's a great time. Every time I want to see you more and more and more again. And I'm seeing you, obviously, like she just said, is like through my busy weeks, I'd find time to make sure that we hang out.
And you find time for stuff you want to find time
Exactly.
for.
And so I was like, there's something here worth exploring. And I'm not just going to give that up because I'm scared of getting hurt. Like, yeah, I can get hurt, but I know I'll live.
Yeah.
And so you know what? If you're down, I'm down to just see where this goes. And I didn't know where I was going to go. I had no idea, but I knew it was worth it, at least continuing to explore and continuing to hang out.
Yeah.
I think I remember, and correct me if I'm wrong, Holly, the moment that we both realized what was happening is when Scott came in and we did a whole topic on the show about like, is it wrong that you wanted to like call her at night?
I know exactly what it was.
What was
I
it?
know exactly what it was because I was like, I hope he's telling the right story.
Come on, Scott.
Because he FaceTimed her.
That's right.
That's
because
right.
he wanted to say
FaceTime.
goodnight and
That's
he
right.
missed her.
That's right.
And so on first blush, when you say, because we were still under the impression that you were just like really trying to be single, because Scott wasn't letting on as much as, you know, because he probably didn't want us to think that he was trying to get close to this Monica.
Right. Because all this is really new to me. Like I would see you at the house and we would say hi, but I made sure not to get, that's maybe why I came off a little standoffish, is because I didn't want to be like, I didn't want to be involved. And so I was just like, hey girl, how you doing? And then that was it.
Yeah.
And so I didn't know all of this was going on the side.
Well, because Scott kept it pretty tight-lipped, and which I wouldn't blame him, and I would have done the same thing.
Right.
So when he's like, I just want to FaceTime her, and we did a topic, and we were like, Toos, what are you doing? Because we were like, okay, Scott's dating, I don't know, just dating, period.
Yeah.
He's just dating. And I'm like, because I was like, if you are FaceTiming a woman at night, FaceTiming at night, you want to be with this person.
Mhm.
And then as we were talking about it on the air, it was as if I had got hit in the head with like a sack of bricks.
Mhm.
Because as I was saying this, I was like, oh my
Mhm.
God, I'm so sorry. Like, I had a realization, and this doesn't happen too often. It does happen though, and it's a cool thing when it happens live. And we're on the air, and I'm talking about how you don't FaceTime someone unless you really like them and you want things to go further. And I was like, holy shit, what is wrong with us? I'll go, Miguel, we are so wrong. We have been wrong this whole time.
Yeah.
Shut the mics off.
I mean, it was like literally a train wreck of a segment probably to
It
listen
was.
to because we
That's
were
so
like,
amazing.
it started
we're like,
one way.
and then it was like, wait.
And then it turned it, and I remember it because I remember talking it through, and as it was changing, it was like the words that were coming out of my mouth were wrong, and I know that I didn't say things right, because actually I had listeners DM me that were either like mad that I went one way or mad that I didn't go another way, and I was like, everybody hold on, I didn't plan this. But as we get to the end of the segment, I was like, holy shit. Obviously not out loud. In my head, I said holy shit, because I was like, they both want this. And that, I think, and we'd have to pull the tape. I think at the end of the segment, I was like, let me think of exactly how I said it. I think I said something along the lines of, do you want to be no, I said, do you like being single? Do you like it? And poor Scott was like, no,
I don't.
Right. And I think that's when Holly and I were like, well, we're just going to go ahead and shoot ourselves in the face right now.
I know. At that moment, we'll be like, well, let's play some Taylor Swift and let's move on. Just get off this segment. And I was just like, after that whole thing, I was like, I'm so sorry.
Beautiful.
I'm so sorry that we have done this to you. And it was in that whole FaceTime conversation that poor Scott, as the younger brother / child, I was like, we've been putting our stuff on you, and we didn't realize it until this exact moment. And we've been trying to protect you, and we've been trying to make sure you do this and that and this by the book. What book? The fucking book we wrote?
Right.
I felt so terrible. And then I was like, it's on.
Go for it.
We're not
Run.
going to talk about this anymore. Like, obviously, this is the turning point. And that was the turning point for us anyway. And I'm sorry. I'm still sorry.
I'm okay with it. I mean, I think the moment was golden.
I will never forget that.
It's hard too, because Holly, you and I hadn't really hung out a lot either. So
not at all.
It's hard to kind of, understand how Scott's, with his limited information he's giving one way. And then I kept thinking, because I would hear the things and be like, no, that's not what it is. Like, if Holly just met me, she would realize I'm cool and I'm not trying to just like steal Scott away and like hurt him.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I don't think, I was more just worried that, I was worried for you, even though I didn't know you. And I was also worried for Scott, as the protector, because we knew that one of the two of you was going to get hurt.
Right.
We just didn't know which one it was. And I was afraid, like, I didn't obviously want you to get hurt, but I didn't know you. And so I super was like, I super don't want Scott to get hurt. Like, I'm trying everything in my power to not let that happen. So then what happens is you, and that's like the general you, that wasn't like Monica. That was like, it could, like anyone
No.
became a not a stereotype, but like a generic person for, someone that I loved and cared about and didn't want to get hurt. So, and then it sucked even more, because then it was like, I don't know you. I don't really know you. I'd like to hang out with you, but like, he's not giving us all this information about like how close you guys actually might be until we have this FaceTime like fucking epiphany. And then it was like, okay, I got it. But then we also still didn't know you because Scott, where was the invitation to come hang out with your new boo? Ain't have one.
Well,
Mhm.
I was also still exploring that feeling because I was
Right.
like, do I accept this? Do I actually feel like this? Or is this just a rush of emotion that's just like, it's just fun to have somebody around? And because Monica and I both had that conversation where it's like, I am not just trying to be like your backup plan, like as you recover and get better. And I was like, I don't think that's the case. Like there's a different feeling. Like I was going on dates and I was hanging with people and it's just, like some would be okay. And then some I was like, can I just leave? Like what? I know this isn't going to work. I know there's nothing here. But then every time with Monica, I was like, there's something different. I'm enjoying this
Yeah.
way too much for it to just be a backup plan for me to just kind of heal up. And I just felt better and better every time we hung out. And so eventually I had to just come to grips with it. And in that time period, it was very hard to come to grips because I also agreed. I was like, probably I need some time to be alone and recover and get okay. But I was doing that on the other side. And then by being with Monica, it was helping me on this whole other playing field of life, which I just didn't realize it at the time. And that was one of the greatest things.
Couples, like you can grow together. You don't have to. In fact, you really can't do all your individual growth alone.
Right.
Because how do you grow yourself in a relationship unless you're in one and take that to learn?
Well, you have to learn the other person. The other person has to learn you.
Yeah.
And you can't. I mean, and y'all were basically at the precipice. And I think for me, that's why I kept getting mad at you, is because I was like, you're doing everything that you would do in a relationship. And if this is supposed to be no strings attached, then you shouldn't be, going on wine dates and FaceTiming each other. Like, if it's going to be, just fucking let it be fucking,
I don't know how to do that. Like, it just felt so wrong. And like, again, like, I guess in this case, it would be like, I'd hang out with Monica. Like, I like her. Like, I want to talk to her. I can't just say peace deuces. I'm like, no, she's more than that. And I knew that the moment we hung out the first time. I was like, there's more than this girl talking about, like, I'm just single and that's how it's always going to be. I'm like, bull crap. There's more to you. And I just want to explore that. And I wanted to figure it out.
Now, Monica, were you talking to other people at the time as well?
It's weird kind of thinking of it that realm because I don't really talk to people. I just, if I'm out and I see somebody, it's like, all right, cool. We're going to do our thing and be on my way. But I don't date. I didn't date. I don't, talk to people, but it's like, I wasn't, I was still going around and seeing people.
Right.
And
so
if I was out, I'd be like, all right, let's pursue this for a night. And that was it.
So then it just happened to like come together at that right time for both of you in the places in your life to where it's like, all right, well, let's do this.
And you were able to be vulnerable because it sounds like you wanted like just be single and have fun and not get vulnerable and deep with people. But like the both of you were doing that together. Like it sounds like you needed to actually have a person that could provide some comfort.
That makes sense. No, yeah, because I mean, it matches up with like even one of our early ass, dates that we're just kind of hanging out in the room, and it's like, it wasn't like, oh yeah, getting it. It was like we sat there and we just opened up about just so much. I was like, whoa, that's a lot.
Your souls
but
were
I felt
speaking
just
to each other.
Yeah, it was just easy to do. It felt comfortable to do. It felt like somebody actually listened and cared,
Makes sense.
and that was a cool feeling.
I get it.
Cue Adele.
I get it.
Go.
Oh, okay.
Go me, baby. So how did all of your friends, once things started to become official, what did your friends start to say that, oh, you're dating this guy on the radio?
This jokester.
Well, a lot of them would be like, I could never do that. You just have all like your shit out all the time. And I'm like, well, at first there were a couple things where I was like mad that he talked about one thing or another. But for the most part, he gives me the heads up or, it's always talked about beforehand. But they were also in the loop with how things were progressing over the several months leading up to that. Mm-hmm. So it's not like it was kind of any surprise. It was just, oh, okay, well, now we're here. And looks fun. They're pretty protective too. They're like, we just don't want you to get hurt or whatever. That's, typical with any friend group, but they were on board. I mean, you meet Scott and it's not like you hate him, like you have to love him. So
exactly.
They were all on board from the get-go.
Especially when he showed up probably with a dog on his chest.
Nah, I had my little llama sweater on. I showed up ready to rock. And I remember that night. I mean, it's like, I just loved it. I was so comfortable definitely buzzed from our night out as a show,
Yeah.
feeling confident. And then I walked in there. I was like, God, these people are so fun. Heck yeah. I don't even know anybody. I don't remember anybody's name, but let's flip another cup or whatever. And it was great.
This is fantastic. So what's the next phase?
Oh, wow.
Where are you at now? What's going on now?
I'll let Monica answer that.
We're just, I don't know, we're just vibing.
We are taking,
I think our 6-month anniversary officially is tomorrow, which is weird to think about.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's been like a year, but also just 6 months.
6 months officially from the moment when we're dating. Instagram post on for her.
Yeah.
I waited a couple weeks, but but we are taking a bunch of big steps. I mean, we just had our first Thanksgiving together, which that's major.
Yeah.
Figuring out what they do with official Christmas. If I'm going to actually visit her family up in Maryland, and if she's going to come down and visit, I guess all my family in North Carolina. So she's already met, a chunk of my family.
Wow.
And I've met a chunk of hers now,
but
too.
these are great things.
I love it. This is fantastic. Well, I think that just from watching the two of you from the very
What?
What evil laugh is that?
I was gonna say from the first sounds I heard.
Oh God. Okay.
Until
You just knew it was love.
well, I was thinking because they came over for dinner last night because Monica, when we were on a phone call about something else, all three of us, and Monica was in the car with Scott, and she was like, "Can we come over for dinner?" And I was like, "Abe, the kids are coming over for dinner."
That's it. Like my person was like, "Did she just invite herself over?" I'm like, "Yeah, they have a thing. It's okay." And then he's like, "That's nice." Oh my God. Like he gets sentimental about stuff. I don't know. I start tearing up. I'm like, "No, it's fine."
Oh my God, did he cry?
He did tear up.
Oh, I love it.
He did. He
I
was
love
like,
it.
I just love that Miguel. Like I'm gonna make myself cry because he's like, Miguel just. That's really great, and that they're still friends like that. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, okay, everybody just take a deep breath. Because he heard that happen, because he heard Monica being like, we covered it. He's like, she just invited herself over for dinner. I'm like, yeah, it's not a big deal. They used to live together, all of them. It's fine.
Absolutely. It's like a Sunday night standing invitation, but not any other night of the week because we're probably naked now.
Come
Now that we
on.
live alone. Unless you want to come have naked time with Abe.
I still do have a key, but I told Monica, I was like, we have to knock now because I don't know what the hell they doing in that house.
Oh, bitch, I'm going to need that key back.
You don't need somebody to have a key. I feel like I should have a key.
That's true. You did have a key to Chateau Oprah, didn't you?
No.
You did.
Oh.
I don't. If I do, I don't know where it was.
No. You didn't have a key. You actually had a login for.
I did, when you used to have the old door locks.
Mhm.
I had that, but then you changed them, and so my ass couldn't get in.
Oh.
Protected like Fort Knox. I don't know. It scares me.
SafeTouch.com. Tell
Yeah.
him Miguel sent you.
Okay.
Well, Monica, thank you so much for chatting with us. We appreciate it, and we're so happy that you and Scott have found each other.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for having me. This has been a blast, and hopefully I didn't say too much.
No,
I thought it was great.
all
You
perfect.
crushed
Girl,
it.
You can never say enough, honey. If you want to add some more, girl, I love it, honey.
I love it too. I love it. And I as a personal random side note, I'm sorry I never texted you back about Busch Gardens Day. I know like Maya and I were there the same day as Scott and Monica, but I was like, the first thing I'm like, we are going to be there that day. Hooray. And then as Maya and I were going around and, I have an 8-year-old with me. I was like, they don't want to hang out with us. I was like, I have severely overestimated myself. Why would they want to hang out with me? And what are they going to do?
Fed giraffes with us
No, it's fine. So that's why I was just like,
next time.
just while we were in like Grover's play place, I was like, we were waiting for Santa. I'm like, I'm just not gonna text him. That's just because I knew you guys were probably doing more fun stuff like for adults. So sorry about that. We'll go again one day without Maya.
Well, we're gonna have a little show Christmas party here soon.
I was gonna ask. We need to figure this out.
Yeah,
Oh
so
my gosh.
we'll do that. We'll do a little group text going and then see what dates that we all have available so we can plan a little Christmas celebration for all of our successes and future successes here soon.
Yeah, I love it.
Awesome. Thank you, Monica.
Thanks. Love you guys.
Love you.
Love
Bye.
you.
Are y'all saying love you, Scott?
Yeah.
I mean, it's okay.
I don't know what I'm allowed to answer. I don't know. Well, I mean, I guess
What? You
Miguel Miguel and I just said love you, and you said nothing. So I'm a little curious.
I was like,
no,
why
that's
didn't you
it.
say
We
anything?
say it all the time. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
okay. I feel like that's always like the next step, but we didn't want to like push you for it on
I
the
didn't
air.
know if like her and I have disclosed if I'm letting that out, but I think we've done
I'm
it in front of people. So
I
it's
have
okay.
already assumed that has been happening for a while.
Yeah,
It was just weird when both of us said it
We're
and
like,
you
love
didn't
you,
say
and you're
it.
just like,
well, because it was like a friendly love you, and I was like, "Hey, love you." I'm like, "Hey, wait, no, I'll just say that later." We talk plenty. we're okay. We're
I love
fine.
it. Let's go over this dong count real quick.
Yes.
oh God, that was an abrupt
I
transition.
know, right? We go to this, like Francisco just said on YouTube. Scotty's love story should be a book. I followed and loved every single second of it. I'm very happy for you guys, Scotty and Monica.
Thank
Same.
you. Thank you.
And
I
now
do
I'm
love
like,
love.
Dog
Dicks.
count.
Dicks. What's the dong count from my bachelor party?
Oh boy, that's a gong.
Gong
Looks
for
like
the
a
dong.
It's the dong gong.
Can we do a contest in February called the Dong Kong?
No, the
No,
dong gong.
The Dong Gong?
Dong gong conky dong. Donkey. All right, whatever.
All right.
Y'all just got a glimpse of what it's like when we come up with promotions, and we're like, Holly, we need a name for something.
And I just start saying alliterative or rhyming thing. I'm like, give me a minute. Dong Kong, Conky Dong, Dong Kong. That's fine. All right, well, how many dongs was it?
So I was in Key West for last Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and we left Tuesday. So the dong over unders, Scott, you said over under 15 real dongs.
I said over 15 dongs. I said about 17 to be exact.
17.
But anything over, I mean, that's a point, Scott.
And Holly, you said 6.
I know, I said under.
Under 6.
Under. I said you don't see 6 dongs.
I didn't really understand how this game works, so I just said over 15.
Okay, that's valid. Hey, that's the game.
Because I was like, I don't get how this over under thing works. So I'm
It's
gonna say
either
something.
over or under a number. That's it.
So is it the first number that's picked, and then you go over under that?
We just chose 15.
Oh,
15
15,
was
okay.
the number. So you were either going to say over that or under that. I said under, and then I said it might be around 6, but anything that's under is a win for me. If it's anything over 15, you guys win, and Scott gets a point extra if it's like right on the nose at 17.
Well, somebody got it right on the money.
Oh.
Oh.
Holly.
Yes, I knew about those dicks. Yes, I know a good dick. What? Wait a minute.
What? Wait, how many dicks was it? 6?
6 dicks.
6. 6. I saw 6.
6 dicks. Play that music. Do, 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 do.
What one?
That one.
Hey!
Six
Six. So yeah.
Holly won the dong gong.
I think your fiance said he saw more dicks.
He probably did. I mean, we had a whole different like bachelor
Experience.
party experience. Yeah. Well, we'll talk about it next podcast.
Oh wow.
No,
I
we're
do want
already-
to hear about it.
We're already at 47 minutes. So, but yeah, the place where I saw them was the place called the Island House.
Okay.
And
I
it's-
knew that's where you're gonna see the dicks.
Oh, you knew that place?
Well, I mean, the last time you went to Key West, you talked about these houses. I'm
Yeah.
like, there's a bunch of dong houses. I don't know what happens in these places. Because usually it's like male only and,
Yeah.
you
That's
know,
fine,
usually for the
I don't
LGBTQ
Yeah.
community. And
Yeah. Yeah.
I hear there's a lot of dong.
It was really interesting because we had some straight women with us. So like,
They got to see the dong?
no.
Oh.
So like Abe's brother, his girlfriend came along too. And one of Abe's,
So a little weird, I feel like.
I mean, the way that we like positioned it, because it was like the end of the charity ride. And so you have men and women doing that. Like it was kind of like open. And plus we don't just hang out there like during the day.
Some
like,
guys do.
well, yes, yes, they do. And they have parties and stuff. They actually, you can eat there naked if
I
you
was talking
want.
about hanging out.
Yes. Like literally the weirdest thing is if you say like you're in the pool there and like you order a drink and then the server could be naked and then they'll come over and they'll like bend down and they're squatting down with their dong out and they're giving you your drink and you're like, oh my God, it's right there.
I don't want that. I don't
It's a
want
lot. I was
that.
like, but we didn't go there
No.
during the day because we had women. So we were doing, we were like sightseeing and other stuff like that, hanging out, going to bars. And so,
Oh Oh God.
This is so ridiculous.
Like then what if someone's like peeing in the pool? Like
Oh.
No, I mean, I don't.
the pee come out of their little pee pee.
I
don't
don't
know
think
if
it. I hope no one's peeing in the pool.
You know,
I
if they drink it in the pool, they peeing in the pool. There's no questions right there. There's not a question.
Oh my God.
Pee is happening in that pool.
But yeah, so I've got to like literally, because honestly, today is like the first day that I felt like amazing.
Oh.
Because I didn't
I've
drink
been
a lot.
like a
this
week.
Girl, I'm telling you, it took a lot to get me back to normal.
Yeah, you're getting older now.
I know, like I don't bounce back like
bones.
I used to. One, then two, like there's never a time, probably since the last cruise I went on, where I've drank that much consecutively.
Yeah.
And even on a cruise, it's still kind of measured because they just don't they don't gay bar pour. And all the places we hung out were gay bars where every drink is basically a double.
Oh.
And so you do that from Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. And then even Tuesday, when I woke up, we were like, we got to get rid of all the alcohol in the Airbnb. So they bring me more champagne. We get to the airport. My friend buys me 2 drinks there.
How do you even do? I don't even know how you live.
I'd
And
still be in the
I
Keys
don't
passed
know.
out.
I went to a birthday brunch yesterday for my best friend Erin. Shouts out, have a birthday.
Happy birthday, Aaron.
So we went, and I got to finally meet her boyfriend.
Oh.
They've been dating for like 4 damn years, and I have not met this man.
Oh, wow.
I know. So it's very cool. Anyway, the point of that story is she and I had 4 mimosas. Okay. Because it was bottomless.
Right.
And like,
wow.
I don't do brunch ever, but I was doing it. And I did 4 mimosas yesterday morning. And I was just wrecked for the rest of the day.
Yeah, 4 is a good amount.
I took a shower when I got home because then I had to go, we had to get Maya back yesterday afternoon. So then Maya comes back and I was like doing okay. And then we had to finish up some schoolwork. And I was just like, oh no, Mama's going to lay down. So I laid down on her bed with her as she's watching the iPad for 15 minutes. Then she's like, Mom, we're putting up the Christmas tree. Blah! And I was like, I got to go put a Christmas tree. It was just those 4 mimosas just wrecked the rest of my day yesterday. So how did you wake up, have mimosas, go to the airport, have more drinks, and not just be dragged off the plane after?
Well, that's also why I was not well for Thanksgiving. And your friend Erin, she texted me and she invited me to do a Peloton ride for her birthday on Thanksgiving.
Oh,
that's so fun.
And
I competed.
Wednesday, I was like, maybe I'll feel better by then. And then Thursday, I was like, I'm sorry, girl. There's just no.
Oh,
I can't.
Well,
but then I went to spin class twice this weekend, and so I've gotten myself back together. So we are on the
moving
up and
again.
up.
Hey, there you go.
Yes.
okay.
So coming up this week on the show on Wednesday, I'll have some more stories from the bachelor party to be able to tell, and then we are talking to actually reality stars locally that are here in Tampa Bay. One show we're going to talk to on Wednesday, they're on a new Netflix show that's based on Tampa. And then there is a show on Amazon Prime. We're going to talk to them, I think, on Friday.
Okay.
So we got a stacked week on the podcast.
Oh, yeah.
We do.
All right. Obviously, always make sure to rate and give us a 5-star rating. If it's below 5 stars, well, then don't.
Just don't.
Just don't.
You have
Leave
anything
us a
nice to
review.
say, don't say anything else.
Exactly. Just keep your mouth shut. Keep your damn mouth shut. Scott, what's your social media?
At Scott Tavlin, SCOTTTAVLIN.
Holly.
Radio Holly on Twitter, Instagram, and the TikTok.
And mine is Miguel Fuller, Instagram, TikTok as well, and Radio Miguel on Facebook. All right. We will see you on Wednesday.